Hi everyone.
Hello everybody. Here we are, Melinda and me. We got some questions from Cosmo that he asked us to make a little interview for you. It is our pleasure. I hope you will get some new insight in our dancing career and perhaps some inspiration for yourselves. So let's start with the first question, which is when and why we started to dance. So maybe Melinda, you want to go?
Yeah. So how did I start? My parents used to dance, and they had their own club. So basically, I born into this dancing family. So I had a choice: or I hate it, or I love it. And actually, we are three sisters. So my older sister, she was also competing. Then my middle sister, she started dancing, but not. She didn't dance for long. And then I was the third daughter, so I was the one who really decided that I'm gonna go on this road. But unfortunately, we found a partner for me only when I was 14. And my first partner was an older boy, so it was pretty hard because I had to start already in the adult category. And then later on, with the second partner, then I had from the beginning in the basic class. So I had a little bit different beginning.
Well, my story is a little bit different as well because I'm not coming from a dancing family. So I started dancing when I was 10. And at that time, dancing was very popular in Slovenia. So many kids went to the dancing school. So like half of my class from the primary school went. So my schoolmate, a girl, she asked me if I wanted to go to dancing school. So I said, yeah, okay, no problem. I didn't have any thoughts before that I would like to dance maybe. But then very quickly dancing got under my skin because I really liked it. I immediately started to enjoy it. And actually since then, I never looked back. So basically, it was also a good story for myself.
So about competitions, which one was the most emotional and hardest? I think we both agree on our first competition together. I think, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
We did the international, so it was, of course, it was very emotional because everything was new and everything was at the beginning, so we didn't know what to expect, and that's why it was also hardest in a way, but very emotional. I remember.
Yeah, I think because we were both already established dancers and finalists. So then, when two people come together like this, there is a big story behind it. What's going to be, how it's going to be, what's going to happen. So you get a little bit of pressure how you're going to actually appear, on the first competition. So yeah, emotionally it was quite stressful, but at the same time very exciting as well and enjoyable. Yeah. And I think perhaps also the very last one.
But that was very emotional.
Yeah, very emotional because it's the last one.
Yes.
But also actually joyfully kind of sad, but joyful at the same time. So yeah, maybe actually these two were the hardest in some ways.
The beginning and the end,
yeah,
yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
So
yeah, at the end, of course, because we were dancing maybe it was 6 years. So
yeah, our career was not that long together, so 6 years. Yeah.
It was. So the third question, who were the teachers, the most fundamental for us? Well, actually, when I started to come, still when I was a youth, I started to come to Slovenia, and my first teacher was Daniela, actually, who was the coach of Andrej, and then my first, really first English teacher, foreigner teacher, were Carol McRae, and
also mine actually. My very first foreigner teacher or English teacher was actually Carol McRae. Yeah.
And then, of course, when we danced together, so we continued.
Yeah, we kept working with her. Yeah.
But and then also Ellen and Hazel and Mick and Lorna, definitely. And then we danced together. Mainly we worked, or or not mainly, but
Mostly, in a way,
regularly,
yeah.
mostly, with Hans Gake.
Yeah.
And then the very beginning when we started was Peter Maxwell.
Yeah.
So
You worked a lot
for
with
me,
Peter Maxwell in the beginning, yeah?
he was a new teacher.
He was new for you, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then later on, towards the end, we had a big impact from Donnie Burns. And then, of course, yeah, Barbara McCall
Also
was
Barbara
always,
McCall, we worked, yes. A lot,
always
yeah.
beside. So now the next one, what we felt after a competition when it didn't go how we expected. Yeah.
Well, most of the times, actually, we didn't check the marks after the competition because I had this idea that you would more often be very disappointed than not when you look at the marks, right? So that was not my habit to check.
Actually, also before the competition, we never checked who gonna judge.
Yeah, we were always going to the competition where we wanted to go, regardless of who was judging at that time. But of course, many times we were actually very disappointed or even angry. And perhaps we would assume from who was judging that somebody likes us or somebody doesn't like us. I think like any dancer is asking themselves, but actually you would be surprised how wrong you can be or how wrong I was or we were in assuming what people really think about us. So that was one story of it. And then what is directly connected to, for example, me, you know, I was, maybe very angry going home. But I had this philosophy also that I allowed myself to feel all the anger, disappointment, and the negativity, if you like, on that day, in that evening. But the next day, that was gone. The next day, we would come to the studio and recalibrate the mindset, if necessary, or the idea, the goal. Kind of try to pull out the best what we can from the, let's say, yesterday competition, which was not going well, what we did wrong, what could we do better, because then you're more realistic, right? Perhaps on the day you can't think so clearly and realistically, so you are more shaken.
Yeah.
But the next day you come back to the ground and you start working on yourself, basically.
Yeah, definitely the same, with both of us.
Yeah.
When the comp didn't go as we expected, of course, it was a big disappointment, but this is important that you allow. So, for example, I could cry straight away, so I was really crying, came out, and then maybe in the same evening I was already a bit better.
Yeah.
So you really, allow this to happen because this is normal. But how he said that in the day after, you think and then you come to the studio and then we talked a lot, what could be the next step, and then of course we always came back to ourselves, what could we do better, and still go into the same philosophy that we improve ourselves and about the development.
Because I think what happens, especially nowadays, that some couples get trapped into this idea of judges like them or not like them, or creating this philosophy that somebody is against somebody. We were never thinking like this because, you know, it's pushing you down. You can never really start flying. So if you start working on yourself, if you constantly basically work on yourself, then you can really become better and better and you can become great, So,
So how important is the choreography? Well, definitely it's an important part for a dancer, the choreography. But I feel with our dancing, what was the main goal? To find ourselves, what we are good at, and also to find the characterization of the dance. So basically, we were not thinking first the choreography. We were thinking more about what we want to show.
Yeah. Choreography was not the end product for us. It was more like a vehicle of that we were able to show our abilities through the choreography, but not necessarily selling the choreography itself. So there are many different approaches. This was kind of our approach.
So what do you miss from the dancing life?
Yeah.
What, the age,
Yeah.
I think.
I miss the youth. Not the category, the feeling of youth.
Yeah.
Well, for example, we finished our dancing career really fulfilled as dancers. So I personally don't necessarily miss competitions or dancing as such, or even this hard practicing. Perhaps the simplicity of life, if you want to call it this way. Maybe you don't see it like this now, but when you are a competitive dancer, you have only one thing on your mind. It's just everything is about your dancing. Yeah, everything what you do is for your dancing. So it's in a way a simple philosophy. You practice, you earn money for dancing, you travel for the competition for dancing, you do everything for this. You don't have other problems, if you like, or challenges in life that come actually after you retire, yeah, because then you have to have a family and things like this. So the life changes. It is much more simple actually when you dance. So
that's what I'm saying, is the age, because when you are young, you don't have so many things to organize.
Yeah, maybe it's the age thing, yeah.
And also the responsibility, what he said, that you really think of going to practice, going to the gym and doing, think about yourself all the time.
There is one goal,
and there is one goal.
To become better, and that's it.
But I feel for myself that I really managed to end in a nice way, also emotionally and mentally, that I went through some stages, and now when I look back, it's like, it's the Melinda who used to dance, but now I'm a different Melinda who is, I'm teaching and I'm helping, and of course I'm a mother now. So in a way it's difficult to say what I miss from the dancing life, how he said, because we really fulfilled. So it was that time of our life. Of course, it's a beautiful and amazing life and memories. But how I am now, actually, I would not necessarily want to have the same feeling. Yeah, you understand what I would like to say. Of course, the youth, how I said in the beginning, that you feel young and you just think of one thing, but that was then, and it was amazing. But now it's a different role, if a different Melinda. I'm like Andrej Melinda, and we have the family, and it's beautiful, but in a different way.
Yeah. She said it beautifully, because you finish one part of your life, and if you get stuck in that part of your life, then you can't enjoy where you are now. So I agree totally. We finished really nicely, and now we are in a different part of our life, so you can't really miss much there.
Okay, samba pivots.
Pivots, an internal problem. Eternal, not internal. I was challenged with pivots also before, when I was still doing ballroom, so I learned a lot then, and I could implement in the samba. So actually, when we worked on these pivots, yes, it is so simple that it is very difficult, because we have to do it together. So a very simple idea or exercise, if you like, it's not an exercise, but an idea how you can do it better. If you focus on staying really together in the pivots, not make any space, and whoever is going back, who is pivoting, back, that's the one that creates energy, or acceleration, or not a physical pull, but a pull of energy. So whoever goes back, so you have basically a little bit like a 50-50 relationship. It's not just the man leading the pivots, but also the lady has to do her input.
And now about Blackpool.
So Blackpool basically is the biggest, the most famous, the most prestigious, perhaps the scariest competition in the world. Every year when I step down the stairs for the first day of when I arrived, when I heard the music, I just got this chill through the body because I realized where I am and what I will have to do. So every year it was pressure. And even if we both danced really, really long, this pressure never goes away. And actually it's probably correct because there has to be a certain level of nervousness, if you like, because it puts you in the right place. So you're not too laid back. Yeah, if you're too nervous, is also not good. So a little bit of, excitement, nervousness is good. But, then you always have to lean back on how you prepared yourself. My coach was always telling me, the best mental preparation or the best confidence will be when you look back for the last 2 or 3 months of a really long period of preparation, then you know that you did the most you could, or you invested your highest energy every single day. And it's true. You can be nervous on that day, but at the same time, you know that you did your homework, so somehow you are confident that you can handle this pressure and make a good performance. So these preparation periods for these big competitions, I feel, are maybe one of the most important things, yeah.
And then just one more thing, that how I said before about, this pressure, what we have, how to handle. The first thing is really important, I feel, that you, first of all, you accept, because sometimes the problem is that you go against that. Oh, I feel so nervous, I have so much pressure, but you want to look cool, and you don't want that you have pressure, and you fight with yourself that, oh my God, I don't want to be nervous, but I'm so nervous. So the first thing what I learned, actually also from him, because he told me in one competition, like, just allow that this pressure is coming. And when you really accept that this is a good thing, how he said before, that is happening, and you have this pressure and this nervousness, and you really, this is how it is. This is in the game, and you allow it to happen. Actually, suddenly you start to not calm down totally, because you can't, but it will be a different feeling in the body. It happened with me, because when you really fight against it, that I'm so nervous, but I want to look cool, and I don't want to show I'm nervous. Actually, it has to be the opposite, that you really, I'm nervous, oh my God, I'm so nervous.
So you shake it out in a way.
And then you shake it out, and you accept in a way that this is happening. So for me, this was the best handling, or to really allow that this is in the game, and this is with you, and this is still you. But if you fight against it, then it makes a problem for you. You might have an injury also, so you never know.
Actually, it's true.
But this was the best, And you talk with your partner like, oh my God, I really feel nervous, and this is okay, that this has to be there. So
certain excitement has to be, because, like I said, I think the best practice you can have in the world cannot be better than, a good competition, because the competition always pushes you a little bit further, a little bit more. You invest a little bit more energy and a little bit more effort. It costs you also more energy. You're more tired at the end, but who cares? That's the end, right? So, you learn to handle it.
So, practicing. So how to practice? Well, we can say our experience, how it was. We had different periods of time when we had a lot of competitions, then we had a lot of traveling. Of course, then it was harder to put the practice schedule, but we were still putting together. And the plan is very important, how I said, what is the period of time? Because sometimes if you don't have so much competition, so you have two months or 1 month without competition, then you can really come every day to the studio. I mean, we practiced 2-3 hours in the morning and 2-3 hours in the afternoon, and we really take time. Many times we practice even one dance for a week, So I don't know if people do this today, but we spend a lot of time. And then, of course, how to prepare to the competition. This is again a different type of practice. Yeah, how to build up the conditions, so how many finals you do, and in the main times how you plan your physical preparation. And we had, we did. Of course, we went to the gym. Then we had also gyrotonic, which is more like a stretching, and then also a lot in the studio for the dancing. So it was a lot of things to plan what is the best way to practice. So, but I feel this is about the period. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you basically describe maybe certain periods of how you can practice. But if I, for example, look like years or a longer period of time, because the question kind of mentions to become a great dancer. I think the greatness can become, or greatness follows, when you actually have great goals, and when you invest great energy, when you things have to go. You can't have an average approach to your practice. You can't have an average goal and expect to be great. It's not going to happen. So if you want to become a great dancer, you have to have great goals. And of course, the goals are always connected to the result. Yeah. So if you're the champion, means you're a great dancer. Not necessarily, right? Mostly yes, but not necessarily. So greatness also comes with some other abilities that you have, not just dancing. It comes down to the personality, what kind of person you are. What other aspects of life, if you want to call it, you can input into the dancing itself. Yeah. So I think the greatness comes with great ideas and great goals, and again, really feeling that you can invest your maximum as you can on a daily basis. I remember I was practicing more than the others just because I wanted to practice more than the others. I never wanted to go home first. I wanted to go home last, because then I felt that I did something more than the other. Yeah. And in a way, you create this advantage in your mind, if you want to call it like this. Yeah. So, and I think we were constantly working on this, how to challenge ourselves more and more and more, not to become comfortable in, you're practicing and how it goes. It's nice, and then you go down. Yeah. So you need to be challenging yourself.
And the last question.
Corona.
You're like,
Corona crisis. Yeah, I mean, it is really affecting us, right? I think the dancing business as such maybe is one of the more affected businesses. But we people, humans, we are the most adaptable species on the planet. So we will adapt. It is impossible to say how different it will be, but for sure it will be different. I think the online work will become a little bit more apparent, at least in this period, which is normal. I think we all have to strive to keep it alive, to somehow keep it going. All the competitors who are now in their competitive careers and they have no competitions, of course we also have couples, and we always suggest them that they have to be active on a daily basis, even though there is no chance to practice in the ballroom, so that you don't fall asleep. Of course, you can't do as much as you could do in normal circumstances, but you have to try to at least keep the level. And how it will be, it's to be seen, right? So,
yeah, how to develop after this, yeah. I mean, this period, what I feel, it allows you to spend time with yourself much more than in the normal circumstances, meaning you know more about yourself, probably. So for the dancing is the same. I hope, or I suggest that you really find out what you would like and who are you in the dancing, and really you have a chance now to get close to this persona who you are, Because I feel, of course, when we have no coronavirus and then we are running from one place to another and the practice and the competition, and so you don't have time to really go into yourself and find out what would you like to do. Maybe how he said before that you have these goals. Yeah, now it's difficult to create the goal because you don't know when is the next competition, but still you can create some goals, who you want to be in the dance floor and what would you like to achieve, but even in the dance itself, how you would like to look and what is really you, and you love it, and you get close to this. I mean, maybe some people even, I don't want to say, but maybe they find out they don't want to do it. I'm not sure, but
It's possible, yes.
it's possible. But I think this time it really allows you to get much more close with yourself.
Maybe it doesn't even allow so much as it actually push us. You know, we are forced to have this time, and then you have to, when you have a lot of time, you start thinking and you start feeling more, yeah? So like she said, maybe somebody will stop and maybe somebody will really become hungry, you know? So it can turn out as a positive
yeah, definitely.
effect.
So it's a positive development if you see on that way, that you have a chance to really find out, yeah, who you are in the dance floor and what you would like to achieve, and also how you would like to dance. So what you like and what you see in yourself, and this is a great possibility in a way. So I have a feeling, or because the question is how could they develop, but if I see that now you have a possibility to be connected with yourself, it would be really nice to see on the dance floor later on that I see that everybody is unique in their own, and they really show what they want to show, and
Nice.
and they really come out as they want to come out, and inspire people, and that I can see that they have fun, and so in a deeper meaning for the dancing. This is my feeling. I'm not.
Yeah, and you said it beautifully. Maybe I was just thinking now as you were talking that how perhaps it will develop in the future. It's impossible to say, but one thing is for sure, no? We are all in the dancing, I think, or 99% of people are because of love for what we do. The love of dance, the love of teaching, somehow we love what we all do. And I think the love itself will prevail at the end. So however affected it will be, I think we will all want that it starts again, that we can put our hearts into what we are doing, because this is really what's happening. And I think whatever happens, it will come alive again. How soon and how long it will take, this we will see. But we all have to just stay positive. And yeah, Melinda gave you a really nice target, if you like, you know, how to find yourself now more closely as a dancer. And I like what she said about uniqueness. How can you become unique when this is over? Huh? It's good.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. All right. Take care,
Okay.
guys. Be good. Stay
Bye.
safe and healthy. Yeah.
Bye.
Ciao.